This film was a heck of a thing because it seems like it had a ton of problems, but even way more than I thought there would be. In ways, it doesn't surprise me because I know films can get very chaotic. But despite the significant scheduling and producing issues they had, what stands out to me is that they mentioned early on during the production process, they said eventually they got a script and most of the major beats that people remember from the film were in there. So even if they didn't have an ending, they had most of the film that worked pretty well. And then, because the ending was ultimately about resolving a mystery, it didn't have to be as big and dramatic as the rest of the film. It just had to answer the mystery. And so luckily that was something that could be a little lower budget. So I guess I've learned that a mystery doesn't have to have an expensive resolution. What I found interesting about this film, technically speaking, is something related to the whole production boondoggle that was described, which is that it has a lot of scenes where people are just kind of hanging out and doing stuff. Something is always happening in the scene, but it also, you have lots of moments where characters are just talking about details or being kind of snarky with each other. Or they have scenes of, just Richard Kimball walking. I thought of the St. Patrick's Day scene even before I watched the behind the scenes where they talked about how they kind of threw that together comparatively last minute. When I first saw it, and I was like, there's not a lot of music, there's not a lot of beats, it just kind of vibes. It's, watch Harrison Ford walk around and take his jacket off and some other stuff. And the film, I think, does something that you don't see in films as much these days, which is just letting moments happen and letting people kind of seem more like ordinary people while still being interesting. And I think what that did well was create a sense of normalcy that made the film work better. It made it feel more like real life, and it helped ground all the other fantastic things we see, like the cliff jumping or the train escape. And so it still felt like he was, in a way, kind of like a normal person because people were just acting like normal people more. It was a fantastical story, but it was able to create this grounded tone, and I think that helped it land dramatically and probably create all the success it had.